What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, Zaynomics Gaming. Today I'm going to try to make this video as short as possible for my viewers. I have a great build for you today centered around the Warlock and Ruinous Effigy. I will go over the details of this build, but the two main criteria for this build is you will need Ruinous Effigy and you will also need Warmind's Decree. Now, I hope you are all having a wonderful week. Let's jump right into the video. Now, first and foremost, we will be using the Warlock subclass, and we will also be taking advantage of Ruinous Effigy and Warmind's Decree. Now, basically, Ruinous Effigy is a exotic trace rifle that was released to us back inside of Season of Rivals. I will also be using Ignition Code. I'm running Spike Nade, Slide Shot, and Thresh, basically just to help me get my super back as quickly as possible, and especially since trace rifle ammo economy is just so great. Now, like I said, we will be using the Ruinous Effigy. It does have the evolution perk. You can do a light attack, a heavy attack, which is basically a slam. After you kill an opponent with this trace rifle, it will spawn a orb, and you can slam that orb down, and the splash damage will actually create a Warmind Cell with Warmind's Decree. I decided to play around with it. I absolutely love it. Now, as far as the catalyst goes, I'm not sure if you can still obtain the catalyst. Back when Season of Arrivals came out, you were able to get the catalyst and you could hunt down Savathun's eyes and destroy them with this weapon, and you could progress through the catalyst so fast. We're also using the 7th Seraph Saw heavy machine gun. Now, my particular role comes with Clown Cartridge and Vorpal Weapon, just to make the Warmind cells a little bit more consistent. I'm also, like I said, using Warmind's Decree. Void splash damage will give me an opportunity to spawn a Warmind Cell. I'm also using Energy Accelerant. That way, my extra splash damage when I go to slam the sphere down, it will give me additional damage. I'm also using Grenade Launcher Scavenger, and I'm also using Trace Rifle Scavenger along with Burning Cells. So if I destroy a Warmind Cell, that gives a burning effect towards my enemies, which is a great addition to this build. Now, for my vest, for my chest armor, I will be using Hammer of the Warmind. Now, basically, if there's champions nearby and I go and destroy a Warmind Cell, that will stun overloads and unstoppable champions. I'm also using Global Reach, that way I could have a further reach within my Warmind cells, and I'm also using Nezarec Sin, and this basically states void weapon kills increase ability energy recharge rate. Now, one of the main beautiful reasons why I like using Nezarec Sin is because as long as you're using a void weapon, you can have the recharge rate for any subclass that you decide to use. So if you want to use Well of Radiance, or you want to use Stasis, or you want to use Chaos Reach, or anything like that, you can use Nezarec Sin for all of your different subclasses. So that's one of the best things about this build. As long as I'm using a void weapon, even if I'm not using a trace rifle or I'm not using this particular build, as long as you're using like Bottom Dollar or Palindrome and you have Nezarec Sin, you'll be able to create that recharge rate for your abilities as long as you have Nezarec Sin and you have those kills with a void weapon. So that's a nice addition to this build. I happen to just use the Slova Bomb just because I wanted to. It was something different. I haven't really played with a lot of the other subclasses in a long time, so it was just great to get a refresher and change up how I play this game. Now, in the background gameplay, you'll see that this build is very consistent inside of Override missions as well as Gambit. I had a lot of success with it inside of Gambit. Now, this is not a DPS style of play, so you're not going to really want to shoot your trace rifle at a lot of major bosses because it doesn't do quite enough damage compared to other options that are out there today. What makes this build so great is that you can kill a red bar, creates that sphere, and you can run around and just dunk on champions, or you could dunk on majors or bosses, and it just absolutely destroys them. And then in the process, you create a Warmind Cell, and once you destroy that Warmind Cell, you basically deplete everything. You kill every enemy in that area for the most part. Now, I will say one of the biggest drawbacks to this build is if you go and try to slam down on a Hydra, you have to be within side of its shield. If you're outside of its shield and you slam the sphere down, you will not get the kill. So please keep that in mind if you decide to play with this build and you're going up against Vex. Now, another problem I kind of had with this, I wouldn't really say it's a problem, but sometimes in the midst of combat, it becomes really chaotic. So if you're not right there when you kill the enemy with Ruinous Effigy, sometimes the sphere will kind of gradually just roll away from you. And I kind of had problems tracking it sometimes. I know in the background gameplay, in one of the clips, I actually lost the sphere. I couldn't find it. I'm running around like a fool and I'm just wasting time with DPS. You don't really want to do that when you're playing Gambit, at least, because then you're just wasting time and, you know, the other enemy or the other team could catch back up on you. But luckily we were so far ahead that it really didn't matter in this instant. Now another thing with this build is a lot of other players that you see in the wild will actually take the sphere from you if you don't get it in time. So I always recommend just straight going in, killing a red bar, and when you're right on top of them, the ball is actually going to fall. So you can immediately just grab it and then go in for the dunk on the higher classed enemies, you know, the yellow bars or the majors and stuff like that. That's what I did anyways. I felt like that was the most efficient way. Now, like I said, we're mainly using this on the Warlock because of Nezarec Sin. Because with Nezarec Sin, we can use any subclass, and that the Void weapons help recharge any abilities that you have once you get a kill. Now, obviously, you obviously could get a better recharge rate too using Void splash damage or Void abilities, but you don't necessarily have to use a Void ability. So if I wanted to go in here with Chaos Reach, which actually probably is the better way, you could do that, and you could still use Nezarec Sin, still use Ruinous Effigy, and once you get those Void kills, you'll proc Abyssal Extractors, and that'll give you ability energy for your arc grenades or solar grenades, whichever subclass you decide to use. I overall enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun, and with Warmind's Decree, now I know this build won't be relevant within the next month or so because Warmind's Decree is an artifact mod. I was also using Ashes to Asset, so grenade kills were also giving me super energy. So that's definitely another mod that you could go with. Now I'm sure somebody will wonder or will ask why I'm not using Wave Splitter. Wave Splitter does have the supercharged battery perk, which does put out more damage, but unfortunately Wave Splitter does not create Warmind Cells because it does not create splash damage. Now with Ruinous Effigy, once I kill an enemy and I'm able to pick up that spear, once I dunk it down, that's what gives you the actual Warmind Cell. That's what procs Warmind's Decree, because I'm using that Void splash damage. I'm also using Energy Accelerant inside of this. That way when I dunk that spear, I'm getting even a little bit more damage on my opponents. So I enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoy it as well. I was mainly just playing around with a lot of old weapons. I have been using trace rifles a little bit more inside of PvP as well. Do I recommend Ruinous Effigy in PvP? Absolutely not. It is probably the worst trace rifle for PvP, but for PvE it's absolutely amazing. I love to play with it. I even tried to proc Warmind Cells with just the guard up, because if you do a light attack with the spear, you can actually create like a Void shield around you that suppresses your enemies, but that does not create Warmind Cells, and also the punching attack does not create Warmind Cells either. You have to dunk it down, and once you do that, you'll be able to get Warmind Cells from Warmind's Decree. Now, I did take this inside of strikes. You can use it, but I don't recommend using it at anything past the legend. So you can definitely go in, get your 100k score with this build, but if you're trying to go for master or grandmaster, I definitely don't recommend it because it's not as efficient. Because remember, you have to get a kill first with this trace rifle, then you're able to get the spear. If you can't get the kill off, then Ruinous Effigy is really just a waste. Now, like I said, in some of the background gameplay, I have been using two special weapons: the Ignition Code with Slide Shot and Thresh, and then Ruinous Effigy. Now, like I said, I was doing that because trace rifles have such an amazing ammo economy, especially when you use Trace Rifle Scavenger and Trace Rifle Reserves. Now, in Gambit, I did not run two special weapons because Gambit's a little different. The ammo inside of Gambit's a little bit stricter, so it's hard to get a lot of special ammo bricks compared to like Override or Altar of Sorrows or Strikes or something like that, because the way Gambit is designed is just technically different because of the invading purposes. Now, they don't want a lot of players just gradually just getting a ton of special ammo. That's not how they designed Gambit. So it's best to run a primary in there just in case you run out of ammo. There's been times where I've played Gambit where I've had double scavenger perks, double ammo finder perks, and I haven't seen a special brick. And there's times where I get a ton of special or I get a ton of heavy. It's just I guess RNG. It's just a luck of the draw. Now inside of Altar of Sorrows or Override or anything like that, I don't even need to run a scavenger perk or a ammo finder perk. I just get them. I get a ton of them. So I'm mainly treating Ruinous Effigy more of like an auto rifle and the grenade launcher as my special. And I'm really only using the grenade launcher for just extra super energy. So that's the gist of the build. I hope you guys enjoy it and try it out. I absolutely loved it. I got more builds on the way that I've been kind of tinkering around a bit with. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. It really helps my channel out a lot. I thank you all so much. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.